It's a fad to claim autism now.
Yeah, right, because we have superpowers. But yeah, I do characteristics of it, but it varies. My mental problems vary. So we're always trying to solve new mental issues with me.
Well,
Just got out of the psych ward. Like I was in the psych ward like 3 times this summer. Yeah, it had to be way more fun following the trucker convoy.
Illumitami kind of brought some piece of news to my attention about Hoax Wars agent.
Oh
And,
yeah, Hoax Wars, Hoax Wars agent, that autistic guy, Toasted.
But
He
so wait,
doesn't have an agent. Hoax Wars is.
you were at the convoy day one in Adelanto. You went home after that first day?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna follow it. It was crazy. I mean, yeah, it was too. It wasn't. It didn't suit. I wasn't gonna follow it. It's too much trouble for me. I'm too old for that shit. So I didn't end up following it.
I'm lost with the cicada and Hoax Wars stuff. So, dude, I'm just like, I guess the main focus here is there's all these communities emerging online. They all have people influencing them. And with the People's Convoy, there was definitely, agent provocateurs, agents of the government.
There were, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. Did Cicada kind of tie, like the influence around Cicada 3301, is there, in your eyes, have you seen how that influenced the QAnon narrative down the road?
I don't know. Thomas has this cult of Sophia, which is like the female god. And I believe I understand what the puzzle is about. It's about finding like the Holy Grail, the Fountain of Youth. In this case, they call it the Spear of Destiny. You call it the Philosopher's Stone, what have you. So that was what it's all about. And that's why I said I solved it, because I kind of got to a place where I understood it. And I made up my own Spear of Destiny, for something that shouldn't exist, basically. Cicada, it's an influence operation of some sort, and it tries to capture. Yeah, a little like QAnon, except for a much smaller group of more crazier people, even crazier people.
Oh, great. Kappy, what do you know about him?
Well, I was friends with him. I considered him a friend. He got really deep into stuff, started hanging out with some questionable characters. I think he died. There are people who say they think he was murdered, but I think he jumped off a bridge. But he might have been influenced by some people he was talking to. Who knows? He experienced some supernatural phenomena, like he experienced hearing music in his head, which I've heard things, and I know people have heard things that aren't there before. So he had, in particular, a wild story where he experienced it with another person, where they both heard the same song in their head at the same time.
This claim comes from Phoenix Enigma's bat-shit wife, the Sicilian witch. She claims the V2K technology was used to beam Phil Collins into her and Isaac Kappy's heads.
Hell, we'll just put it all out there. Some people are wondering how we know some of the stuff that we do. Well, Leisha, whatever you'd like to say.
During the week before Kappy died, he put out a note to the people in the family. He wanted some company. I was with him when, I was the one in the car with him when there was the V2K in the car. And it was a horrible, terrifying experience. The sound of it came into my car so loud and so clear. And I reached for my radio dial to turn it off because I was surprised that it was on. The radio was off, and all of a sudden into my car was this loud blast of sound. And it was Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight, and it was on the chorus of this song. And we both jumped so hard, slammed my hand on the radio, like, how did my radio come on? But my radio came on when I slammed my hand on it, and so I had to turn it off.
The textbook definition of a targeted individual.
At one point, he reached up and he touched my face and told me thank you for being so kind to him.
There's another character called Phoenix Enigma. Do you know him?
I've heard of him.
Okay, yeah, he did the official Isaac Kappy investigation, basically. He's got like a mind map and all this stuff from the research he did.
A mind map?
You know, like one of those maps with like you would see it with QAnon. It's like a crazy person would make, but you know, it has a lot of
Gotcha.
if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the cork boards.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
The relationships of Hoax Wars with Schoenberger. What is that about? I see a lot of conflict there.
I don't even want to talk about Thomas Schoenberger. I would like they wanted me. I don't even want to talk about him, to be honest. Like I haven't had any contact with him. Hoax Wars is just a show I watch. I mean, it's just a small channel, but he covers stuff that ends up being controversial, like Owen Benjamin. I mean, he was going a lot of his shows just covering what other people do and just pointing out like the crazy shit Owen Benjamin says and stuff. But then Schoenberger. I just don't like Thomas, but I don't care. Like I don't want to make a big thing out of it.
Nathan doesn't want to make a big thing out of it now, but 6 weeks earlier, in between psych ward visits, he said the following about Thomas.
No, it's very like he's not we're not all human beings here. He's like a very powerful thing that you don't want to trifle with. I had a real problem. That's why I got arrested. It's because I was trying to deal with his spirit, getting it out of this house. It's not allowed in this house. It's just I'm just trying to sense. I don't want to call him, but I don't have to deal with him. So then they took me to jail for stalking because I said hi to an NPC that was walking past when I was dealing with Thomas Schoenberger's evil spirit in front of my house, trying to get it out of my house. It was like at my doorstep, fighting with an evil spirit. I was like, how can I resist arrest if I didn't do the thing that I was being arrested for? And disturbing the peace. I can't disturb the peace during daylight hours. But disturbing the peace, how?
Well, yeah, but do people have legitimate complaints?
I don't know. I thought so. There's at least one person, but she might have some. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know for sure. Those better talk to Defango about it. But Defango, you can't get a straight answer anyway. So who knows? All I know is I don't ever talk to him. He never comes on my show. He may have alters that troll me. I don't know. I don't even do my show right now, so it doesn't matter to me. You know, so yeah, I'd like to just not be involved in the drama of Thomas Schoenberger.
I mean, so why do you think people are still like prodding into this story? Because clearly the drama still unfolds around
Schoenberger.
All
is
of
that
this,
what you
yeah.
mean? I don't know. I'm just trying to try to ignore it. I really don't know. Maybe he has influence. Maybe he doesn't.
Well, it's like when multiple people come together for the same reasons and they start building the same thing because they have the same interest in mind.
Right.
It creates a collective.
Yeah, and you can literally become influential, and then people want to write about Thomas Schoenberger because they want to know if he was connected to QAnon, basically. And I didn't ever tie it to Schoenberger. I feel like he maybe wanted people to think that they were involved in it because it was such a big deal. Isaac Kappy was into QAnon too. I kind of made fun of him.
Because what I'm talking about often can't be, just seen straight away. It's sources of influence converging. It's not like there's everybody always wants to jump up to the Illuminati. It's just groups of people influencing one another collectively. And just by looking at them and seeing their sources, you can learn a lot. And this is, surrounding this whole Hoax Wars community. I'm just looking at the community that surrounds Hoax Wars from what I've seen. From, understanding a different community. And there's some fascinating ties into everything. There's just no ignoring it. And this dude here, in this interview with Lift the Veil, who was there in Atlanta the first day of the convoy, has an amazing interview where quite the claim was made. Okay.
Affiliation with Shadowbox, which was with Schoenberger, because Shadowbox, so you were affiliated with Thomas Schoenberger, who is actually a gang stalker, who does actually run multiple Twitter accounts and has actually, well, shit, I got to be careful what I say because, you know,
careful.
You might try.
So I don't want to. He's already probably in your chat. I'm like spying one person.
So Thomas Schoenberger has a genuine checkered past that a lot of people say. Okay, I'll just say that there are people who say they've been gang stalked by Thomas Schoenberger. That's all, and I don't.
All right, so I don't know really the lure behind that guy. A lot of claims have been made against you, Paul, and if you want to discuss that, whatever this nonsense was, because I've kind of just determined that Hoax Wars kind of creates hoaxes. See, people, dude, you see what happens when you talk about Hoax Wars? Okay, I'm just this is not the real channel. Who came in here with this? I've never seen this. I assume it's not. So I was saying earlier, people are already coming with fake accounts for him. A hoax war. Hello?